How much do you need? When you invest, how much do you need? For what? How much do you need to retire? How much do you need to live your most fulfilled life? How much do you need to do what matters most to you? These are not simple questions to answer, and they're made even more complicated when we look at the market. Until last week, you had 5 straight weeks of down markets. Clients don't often ask me much about what's going on in the markets, question performance. They have gotten a couple questions recently about the markets. So I put in this chart that's to my right to help you see how the market's performed over the long term. You can see lots of dips along the way, but over the long haul, the market's gone much higher. This chart goes back to the end of 1999, the beginning of 2000, to this century. Volatility can be tough to take too. That's why we have to take a long-term approach. Again, how much do you need? I had a client reach out to me a few months ago when I shared my life plan, and she said to me, basically, Phil, thank you for the message. I've always been sitting here trying to build the biggest pile of money, but never thinking about what was that money for, or what did I want to do with it. After working on her life plan, she has much greater clarity around what matters to her most and what that money's for, and that gave her the confidence to make some changes that are visible. When I look at her and I talk to her, I can see the changes that have been brought about since she's made these changes. When we invest, it's about investing to achieve our goals. Down markets can create opportunity. Think about it this way. If you were buying shares of a fund or ETF that was $100 a share, let's say it was an S&P 500 ETF, and the market fell by 25%, your shares would be worth $75. But if you kept buying, when the market comes back, and historically when we've had market declines, we have come back. If the market comes back from 75 to 100, that's a 33% gain. If you did nothing, you wouldn't have any of those gains. The shares that you had that you bought 100 are back to even, but the ones that you bought at 75 are now up 33%. So you benefited by buying during the downturn. I want to kind of keep buying. Think about it. When we invest, we're making a long-term assumption, implicit assumption, that the market's overall direction is going to be up over the long term. That's why we want to keep buying when we have down markets. We can't time the market with any level of success. So trying to get in and out just makes us have to make more decisions, increases our chances of being wrong. If I sell because I think the market's going to fall, how do I know when to get back in? Am I going to be able to get it right as in terms of when to get out, when to get it back in? Probably not. So we want to think about we're investing to achieve our goals. How much do you need? We need enough to live our desired lifestyle now and in the future. We don't have to build that biggest pile of money. We just need enough to be able to do what we want to do. We want to be able to focus on our goals and achieving those goals. We want to ignore the noise too. It can be dangerous watching a lot of financial media and a lot of financial news because the market's day-to-day activity, on a daily basis, the market probably goes down more than it goes up. I believe it's like 54% of the time the market goes down, but yet over the long term, those up days are bigger than the down days. And we end up with positive returns. And the longer the time frame you look at, the more likely you are to see. If you only look at the market once a year, you feel up about 2/3 of the time. Now, that could be really hard, but there are people that kind of want to say, I'm just going to put it in a drawer and not look. Maybe you don't want to do that. But the point is that if you take that long-term perspective, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable. When we have down markets, remember, this too shall pass. So when you think about investing, think about how much do you need to live your desired lifestyle. Don't worry about building that biggest pile of money. Just make sure that you can do what you want to do. Invest that way. And don't get worried about the noise. Remember that unless you're in retirement, when the market falls, creates opportunity. You can still invest more and you can still grow your portfolio. When you're in retirement, there are steps that we can take to try to protect you and insulate you more from a market downturn. But they're going to happen. They happen about 1 out of every 3 years on average. Hope you find this helpful. I'll be back again next week with my 5 favorite reads of the week. Have a great day.